Hi. Here we are. I'm really excited. And the funny part about this whole process is that as we move into this idea of business and this idea of spiritual renewal, I'm giving this 9-day challenge to each of us because I really believe it's time for us to step into us in our businesses. For a long time, I've been an entrepreneur and I've been working in a variety of ways. I've developed a lot of systems, a lot of programs, but in the early days, I had my own little business and it was called Kiraku. And Kiraku, I'm going to put the logo up here. You can see it a little bit up in the box. Kiraku meant the key energy is joyful, restful, and peaceful. And for years, I made organic food, amazing organic food. And I made amazing, beautiful expressions of myself, because that's what we do as entrepreneurs, right? We bring our expression into this life, right? And when you're an entrepreneur, you're bringing your expression over and over and over. And when I had Kiraku, the name was given to me by my good friend Takeshi. He stayed at our house and he stayed there for a couple of years in a row. But I asked him, I said, what should I name my business? I'm going to start an organic food business. And he said, okay, I'll let you know. And so at that point, I was thinking about food. I was thinking about organic food. I was thinking about nurturing. I was thinking about how can I help the health food stores? Because at that point, the natural food movement had been, moving into more unhealthy foods, like fast food, natural foods. And I wanted to make a company that could really stand for a deep witness to help people in such a way that they could really create. So I started, my ideas of making homemade noodles. And so we were making so many different types of noodles. In Japan, in order to have a noodle bowl, and I think we're going to do this during the 9-day challenge, okay? Because business gets messy, right? Business gets messy. But Takeshi came and he said, I want to teach you about Japanese noodles. If you want to do a noodle company, let me teach you. So he was teaching us about porcupine noodles and fox noodles and, you name it, noodles, okay? But what the gift is that noodles are supposed to be slurped in Japan. You don't just, in America, when we slurp our food, it's like not appropriate. Well, in Japan, it's appropriate to slurp your noodles. So I think we're going to have some time during the spiritual renewal to just have a noodle party. And we're each going to make noodles and we're going to just know that business gets messy. And why I wanted to do this business challenge was because I believe that the renewal time is right now. COVID is the perfect time for us to really stand for our deeper part of ourselves. And I thought, 9 days is a lot of time to restart and rekindle. So I'm going to share a little bit, but Kiraku became this business that I worked from early morning to late nights. And I maybe had 5 hours sleep, but I just would get up and think about business and I'd go and go and go and go. And then I'd do more and I'd do more and I'd do more. And I burned out so easily. So I felt that energy with the new start of COVID. Now I'm a nurse and I was working as a nurse and I got sick and I had to stop. And it made me think about 5 years ago when I had a concussion and I had to stop. But these were some of the most sacred times because I wrote a book called Remembrance to Remember. I have developed all of these different practices and I did spiritual practices online called Practice by Design. I have a Facebook page. You can go to it. I have almost a year's worth of practices. And so we're going to do some of these practices that I've learned in this 9-day ritual. But I invite you to join us and bring your own ritual, because it's going to be a spiritual renewal for each of us. And so we're going to get online and we're going to really start looking into what does it really take to have that deeper part of ourselves. And we'll learn from each other and we'll grow from each other. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to share with you what I've been starting to put together on what I was feeling. And I think you're going to like this. So take a moment, take a breath. What is that wonder of life? What does it actually open in you? What are these grasses actually speaking? What are the times in your life where you can just sit and ponder and feel the waves of life, the waves of the spirit? If you look in the grasses, it goes all different ways. It's not just one way. And it's like us trying to do business. You know, you get taught these rules, you get taught how to do it, all of these ideas, what's your why, what's your this, what's your that. You got to do it this way, you got to do it that way. I think a lot of us lose ourselves in this modern day of what business is and entrepreneurship is. So I want to take these 9 days with you as a spiritual renewal for your business, because it's going to be a spiritual you that's going to come out the other side. And we're going to really dance in the wave and the wonder of our lives. We're going to stop and we're going to really take time out. So we're going to do practices that I've learned, and I'm a public theologian, but I'm also studied, almost 10 years of theology now. And if I go back, I've studied even longer. And what I want to bring to you is a richness within your own entrepreneur's self that I've learned, and that I've been around a lot of amazing spiritual entrepreneurs. And we are all spiritual beings. We all move the way that spirit moves us. But business seems to be taking us into this idea that we have to stay sourcing something that's not quite ourselves. So this idea of the wonder of life, that spiritual renewal as an entrepreneur, I want to bring to you. And so I hope you'll join me. It's in 3 days. It starts on the 8th. It's going to start at 8 a.m. in Pacific time. And it's going to be at 8 p.m. in Pakistan time. And it's going to be a time of just that wondrous moment, that time when you can take an hour out each day and rekindle what you're really doing with your business. And by 9 o'clock start time, when you go out to the world, you're going to have a renewal moment, and you're going to build this practice so that in 9 days, you're going to hold that practice. Now you can change the time after 9 days because it's your time. But I want you to really take this on spiritually, to really bring yourself into your own entrepreneurship. I want you to join the Renewal Challenge because you're going to be positioning yourself into the marketplace. And the marketplace is challenging right now. So every day we're going to be doing a ritual of washing our hands and washing the spirit. And as you go through these practices, I painted this picture in the middle of when I had the concussion, and it came out really powerfully for me. And I hope it has a message for you. But we have to wash ourselves off. Every day is different. So at night, we're going to build a practice so at night you know where you're headed the next day. But it's going to be more of a spiritual relationship to yourself. It's more of your positioning to yourself for the next day. You're going to really start looking at the challenges throughout the day at the night and reflect on them. And so that you can really market yourself from a new way the following day. When you wake up, There'll be practices before our renewal, before the 8 o'clock time. And if you're in Pakistan, you can reverse these times. You can join us at your 8 a.m. as well. But I'm going to focus it to really look at that before that 8 o'clock start. You've already had some of your practices done. You've already taken time to find something to bring to the others, because in your business, you have to bring things to the people that love you and you love them. And when you're an entrepreneur and you've got people working for you, it gets challenging. And so as we join this renewal practice, as we join this idea in the renewal consciousness, in the renewal idea of entrepreneurship, what are the challenges that are facing you? And we'll go through them as a group and we'll dive in. The wonder, every day is wondrous. Like, look at this mustard. These are mustard greens, and look at how bright they are. And if I put those into my body, I know that saying, you become what you eat. I'm green, I'm vibrant, I'm upward energy, and you're going to learn a few little tips of mine that I've learned. I helped people for 30 years with natural food diet. I helped people through sicknesses, through illnesses. And I want you to become, those questions, who, where, what, why, where is your why? So who, how, where, what, and where are yourself? What is your witness to yourself? So you become what you eat. So if we're eating spiritually, our own spiritual message during the day, your business will really become that. Because really, each of us as entrepreneurs, we live in it. We totally live in our businesses. And it's our passion. And so what a greater time than to really look at that wonder of each of your businesses. You become where you see. What do you want to see? Like, do you want to see these beautiful greens on your plate, or do you want to just see a frozen TV dinner? And as an entrepreneur, I've been those times, like, I just need to put in the pot pie and just eat it because I'm hungry and I don't take time to nurture. So I wanted to bring this, where do you see yourself in the 9 days? What do you really want to bring? So I want you to start thinking about that if you're joining me, and start writing some things down. It starts on the 8th at 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. Pacific. You'll become how you think. So we're going to be looking at some of Bob Proctor. I trained all the way up through. I did a huge training with Bob Proctor. A lot of people use his material, but we're going to do some of the practices more in what Bob would say, in the spirit of the mind. So we're going to do some mind practices to really engage you into visioning. So we're going to do some envisioning for you. You become who you want to be is really that nectar of the entrepreneur. You want to be a business owner. And even if you're not an entrepreneur right now, join this challenge with us, because you might come up with that spark by the end of the week to really start looking at who you want to become. I have catapulted my work over the years in so many different layers. And as you open yourself to this vibrancy within you, it's like these greens, it just grows. And I just did this beautiful 5-day challenge with Greg and Dr. Larson, and they're going to come and visit us on this challenge, and they're going to give us some of their tips. And they've already said yes, and I'm excited. And when you start looking at the entrepreneurs around me, I have some really deep spiritual thinkers, and I'm inviting quite a few. So I hope you'll come in, and I hope you'll take a moment. And I am going to have a VIP page. So some of us are going to be able to dive in, and there will be a cost to that VIP part of the program. And we're going to meet 5 times out of the 9 days. And those 5 times are going to be that sacred quality. It's going to be a 2-hour session. So it's 10 hours of work, and it's going to go deep. So if you want to be the VIP, message me soon, because it's filling up. I've asked some people if they want to be VIP. So make sure you step in and message me. If you want to become the witness of yourself as an entrepreneur, you have to bring that spiritual part of yourself, or you'll lose yourself in the mire of so many people teaching what entrepreneurship is. So as a theologian, I wanted to bring this to the business entrepreneur because I believe it's an important timing. And I'm going to keep running this because I know how important it is to really hold yourself in that spiritual witness, that spiritual love that you are. The solitude. I want to ask you, where are you spending your time? We're going to dive into this deep throughout the week. But we're going to look, and this is a picture of St. Francis. And if you look at the solitude of him out with the birds, he's feeding the birds, it looks like, and he's got somebody behind him that has his back, you know, this other idea. And it's probably St. Clare in this picture. And we each need somebody to really look at how we're spending our time. So if you're an entrepreneur, and whether you're single or with other people, where will you find yourselves in the witness of the powerhouse spiritual moments that know yourself so well in your own solitude, that when we have those quiet moments, we're going to really step in and find quiet moments, and we're going to clock them through the 9 days, and we're going to hold each other accountable for some solitude, because your business will grow in these 9 days. I can promise you. So where you're spending your time is going to be key. And so we're going to go into deep, deep areas of what is solitude. How can you measure solitude in your spiritual life of your business, as your entrepreneurship, as your consciousness? You know, where will you go? And in the VIP group, we're going to be going deep because we're going to be doing some readings, and I'm going to be doing some entrepreneurial ideas of each of you and help you through that moment of time so you can really step into your power. By the end of these 9 days, you're going to be a powerhouse. I can guarantee it. And you're going to just feel like a whole brand new being. So it's a pretty special time. The mystery. I want to see yourself in the mystery of life. You know, we see inside entrepreneurship as a making money, you know, idea. But the light within your entrepreneurship, it really is like the light of nature, because it sparks us. It brings us alive when we're truly in our spark. You know, I run the organization Torch, the organization for realizing change in humanity. And when I look at these flowers, and I look at this, you know, these were given to me by my daughter, Emily, for my birthday. And, you know, I look at them and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, look at the shades of the yellow. Look at the spark of this flowers. My mother always said it, with your last $10, put some flowers on your table. And it's almost like she knew I was an entrepreneur, because sometimes you have money and sometimes you don't. Sometimes get lean, sometimes not, especially as a beginner entrepreneur. And as you gain witness to saving money and looking at that mystery, we're going to look at the mystery of money and the spiritual relationship. And I hope, you know, you will take a deep dive into your mystery of what it's going to do to receive. How are you going to receive? And this picture, I just noticed, like, if I look outside that window, there's chimes out there, and then there's my computer. My computer's right near my chimes. Like, I set up my entrepreneur life with the mystery, because I need that. I need that in so many deep ways. I need the mystery to be living, for me to be living authentic. So it's really the authentic part of myself, you know, where that mystery lies. And what I want you to take away is your why. But your why is going to be witnessing your quality of life. And if you look in this fire, it's a breathing, dancing feminine. Like, I feel like the feminine is alive and she's dancing, and she's momentous, and there could be men dancing right behind her and holding her and dancing. And, you know, the male, female, masculine, and there's this mischief little guy down at the bottom. He's like a little imp, you know, like, I totally believe that quality of life is so worth you kindling this fire within you, you kindling this richness if you can really take time and really see your quality of life is you. It's your quality of life. It's your witness. It's your love. It's your consciousness and awakeness. So take time, this 9 days. It's at 8 a.m. for 1 hour. I promise you, your entrepreneur life will grow. I promise you. Like, I don't promise things, but I promise you by the end of these 9 days, it's been given to me. It's been given spiritually to do this course. And it's been given to me by the witness of others. And it's been given to me as Reverend Lynn Chittick, and bringing the quality of life to you that really can help you dance. Because the fire and the torch and the witness of the torch and the love that you are is about the dance of life. And if you don't have a quality of life within your entrepreneur life, you don't have yourself. And I want you to come out of this with amazing witness so you can really build the kindling part of yourself that's been missing. Because I know what it takes. I've been there for a long time. And I know what it takes for you to dance in that witness. So you're going to have a tribe of people around you, a supportive people around you, a loving community around you. And let's just grow this. So share this, please share this out and invite people. And I've invited people to come to my fan page. I've kind of just said, I'm on full time. And, as I bring this witness into the life that each of us are called to do, that I believe that this is, it's the time of the Spirit. It's the time of the quality of life that really sparks the witness of love, the heart of love. So I'm going to do this countdown. It's 3 more days, and I want you to count 90 times. And just really think about, is this countdown, as I put it up and I go off, I'm going to give you the countdown, and I'm going to ask you, what is it in you that could be the spiritual renewal for your business? What can you bring into your business that will spark the human heart, the heart that really knows how much we need in this amazing life? So I'm going to play it 3 times like I did in the beginning, and tomorrow I'll play it 2 times, and then I'll play it 1 time, and then the next day we'll just we'll have already a tribe moving. So I hope you really join me. I hope you go to my fan page, Lynn Chittick, and really, my spiritual intuition is my gift. And it's about wherever I am, I bring in that moment of time. And it's been with me my whole life. And whatever that is, God gave that to me. My little self steps out of the way, as Sarah says, Sarah Larson, Dr. Sarah says, my little self steps out of the way. And in the VIP group, you'll learn so much from me on sparking that greater self. And if you can't take time out for that extra 2 hours, feel free to message me and see if we can do a private session on just your entrepreneur self. So I'll be doing private sessions as well throughout the 9 days, and just help entrepreneurs, renew themselves, renew and kindle. So I take this moment to say it's a 9-day challenge, and we're going to do the countdown 3 times, and I'm going to do it too. And after the 3 days, I'll share with you what's coming up for me and what I need. So drop into yourself right now, drop in. And as I play the countdown, I want you to count down yourself, but I want you to count down to yourself. It's coming back to yourself. After all the outer expression of COVID, all the outer expression of sickness and illness around you, all the news, all of that, I want to bring you back down. I want to bring you back down into yourself. That's what this 9-day challenge is about, bringing yourself back down. Okay? Thank you. Have a beautiful evening. I look forward to having you in the 3-day challenge. So here's our countdown. Be you in your business and join me for this 9-day challenge. You'll be so happy. And please share this out. Blessings. My pup's barking.